Welcome to Studio Reflection, an indie theater where nothing's final until opening night. And sometimes, not even then. We aren't Broadway. We're closer. Literally. Closer to truth, to each other, and to the occasional unscripted line from the front row. Studio Reflection, where the fourth wall is more of a suggestion. Scripts bend, emotions don't lie, and no one is ever more than 2 chairs from the truth. It began with a question. Can a robot feel love? The Turing test wasn't our first production, but it was our spark. A crash course in touring, translating, adapting, surviving. We took it from Toronto to Bari, to Bulgaria, to San Diego. With one suitcase, a projector, and an actor who could switch from human to android in a single blink. Some nights we had velvet curtains, other nights, duct tape. Once, we performed next to a door labeled, "Staff only, do not slam," which they did. Often. A comedy that made people cry, and a drama that made them laugh. Some said it was science fiction. Others called it Heartbreak in Code. A play about machines that made people feel more human. It starts with 2 strangers. One man, one woman, one bridge, 2 broken hearts. He brought a plan, she dragged a rock. One came with a rope, the other with regrets. Neither expected company. But fate had other ideas. They argued, they nearly jumped, they fell apart, and somehow fell in love. Performed in Toronto, Bulgaria, and Chicago, where, from backstage, we heard, "What a beautiful, heart-touching play." Studio Reflection. Small enough for a whisper, big enough to hold a heart. At Studio Reflection, we don't just stage plays, we stage adventures. The golden gefilte fish, part noir, part fever dream, with diamonds, secrets, and one very suspicious fish. It wasn't a full production. It was a pilot, a whisper, a dare, performed for a few bold creatives, with scenes rewritten mid-stairwell and props mostly imaginary. There was laughter, curiosity, and a few raised eyebrows we took as compliments. But even in fragments, the spark was there. A singer with a shadowy past, a legacy lost in war, and somewhere, maybe, a fish that started it all. Studio Reflection, where even a workshop feels like opening night. Studio Reflection isn't just about grown-up stories. We have a fearless children's troupe too. Well, they weren't fearless at first. Before their premiere, they were nervous. What if they forgot their lines, spoke too softly, froze on stage? But when the curtain rose, something clicked. They didn't just perform, they transformed. They brought to life the spirit of the house. A magical, interactive tale where strangers became friends, messes turned into magic, and the audience became part of the story. Studio Reflection, where kids take the stage and never want to leave. What do you get when you blend music, poetry, painting, and movement, all unfolding live before your eyes, touching the soul? Not quite a concert, not quite a play, but something entirely its own. A show where violin meets verse, where an artist's brush moves in real time, and where every scene asks the same quiet question: how do we stay close to ourselves? Studio Reflection, where genres blur and something beautiful begins to take shape. At Studio Reflection, we don't just create our own productions, we join others when the story feels worth telling. Fragments begins like a comedy, a noisy family, too much food, and everyone talking like they've got a point to prove, all at once. But beneath the humor lies something darker, a truth long hidden, now too loud to ignore. 3 generations at one table, and a past that none of them truly escaped. We were honored to join this production, because behind every laugh was a truth waiting to surface. Studio Reflection, where what's unspoken still finds its voice. We were guests in this one, but oh, what a dinner party it was. At first, it's a comedy, but somewhere in the background, someone's brewing coffee, and revenge. Cyanide with milk or without is a farce, until it's not. Like Agatha Christie's Wild Cousin, absurd, acidic, and one twist away from confession. We stepped in as actors. We walked out wondering what exactly we'd just survived. Studio Reflection, where drama is served hot and spiked. From the first word to the final breath, we gave it everything. Studio Reflection, where stories live on, even after the curtain falls.